I'm so glad to be with you again, and so glad to talk with you about what I'm reading these days. Some of you who I think are my faithful friends and enjoying this meeting week after week know that I'm reading through the Bible this year, and therefore from time to time I end up talking with you a bit about something that I'm currently reading, or have read rather, in the past week or so. And so I'm about to do today. I want to tell you that I have been enjoying the book of 2 Chronicles. I say that with a measure of surprise, and maybe with a bit of an apology to the Lord God, in that I have read the Bible through a great many times over the years, and I thank the Lord that I have had a long enough life and enough dedication to the Bible that I've read it through again and again. How many times, I don't know, but a great many times at any rate along the way. And so I've read 2 Chronicles 35, 40 times in my life, maybe more than that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more than that. But this time I am especially enjoying it, and I have found myself doing more underlining than I expected to do. I make it a point, of course, to read in a different Bible that I hadn't used before, so that I don't limit myself to the passages that blessed me at other times. So I'm doing my own underlining here, and in this case, I'm underlining a great deal in the book of 2 Chronicles. I think the thing that has stood out for me especially is what has happened time and again to the great kings of Judah. When the tribes divided, right after the time of King Solomon and the time of his son Rehoboam, there was a great deal of tension between those nations, as there came to be a northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. And eventually the northern kingdom went out of existence. They were carried away by the Assyrians, and after that they intermarried so much that they no longer existed as a nation. But the southern kingdom of Judah kept its identity, even when it went into captivity, something I may talk to you about at another time. I think the difference between the northern tribes and the southern was simply this, that the northern tribes never had a godly king. The southern tribes would have a godly king now and again, and I rejoice in that. But even then, it was tragic to see the way some of those kings who had a good start would eventually go astray. And it all began with the king that first followed King Solomon, Solomon's son, Rehoboam. And what happened to him? He trusted in the Lord for a time, and says simply here in 2 Chronicles 12, verse 1, when the rule of Rehoboam was established and he was strong, he abandoned the law of the Lord and all the nation with him. Now that's so sad that Rehoboam, who had a good start in turning back to God, would then abandon the Lord God. But it's almost as if he became the symbol for what happened repeatedly in the kings that followed him. I find that I've underlined one such story after another, that a king would be a good king. He would turn to the Lord. He would bring the nation back to God. The kings had a great deal of effect, for good or for evil, simply because they had the power of the throne behind them. And so they brought the nation back to God at times, or they drove the nation away from God. But so many times the story is the same, that after years of being a good king, years of enjoying the blessing of God, they would wander away from God. I ponder this, and I say to myself, there is nothing so dangerous as power. And if there's anything that makes power even more dangerous, it is when your power is blessed by God. Trials of life do indeed try our character, but the blessings of life can try us even more seriously. Because when we're enjoying the blessing of God, and when things are going our way, and when power is extended to us, whether it is the power of a position like a king or a manager or a superintendent or whatever, or simply the power you have within your own household, the power that comes can destroy us if that power causes us to forget the Lord God and to feel we can get along without the Lord God. That's the sad story of 2 Chronicles, that power destroyed so often good people who had once trusted the Lord. That's what's on my mind today, and I'm glad I could pass it along to you. God bless.